So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining us. We are recording this meeting and we'll share it later for franchisees that couldn't attend the whole meeting or franchisees that couldn't attend the meeting. So happy December, yay! We made it. We made it to the 1st of December. I always look forward to these meetings and I always verbalize it. And I always love sharing content with you guys and some new things that I've learned. And according to the 9-year cycles of life, I'm next year going into my next cycle of learning. So I'm going out of fire into learning. But I'm already in that learning cycle and I'm like so passionate about my life coaching that I've done. And I'm doing getting information, getting relevant information, and really being there to be wise and to be accurate with the strategy that we have going forward. And I'm always so excited in dealing my ideas and thoughts with you guys. So I want to start by saying a big thank you to your response on last week about handouts. You know, we started at the tip of the iceberg talking about handouts, and for the feedback that several franchisees gave us about handout ideas and about t-shirts and about the way going forward with that. So thank you so much for giving us your feedback on specifically handouts. And also I posed a question to you. I posed 2 questions. The one was, what can you guys do for us? So I just want to confirm again, what you can do for us is first and foremost data, and then payment, and then communication that goes around that. Everything else we can talk about. There's been some emails about from franchisees that there's been some WhatsApps. I've got a list of a couple of people that I'm gonna return calls today to specifically talk about that. But don't be afraid to give us your data, because we need the data. We can always talk about the accounting and the invoicing and the payments that are coming after that, or writing some more amounts off on the accounts, just to be realistic. And also super important for us at this point, the minute we notify you that we are ready for 2021 and the school terms have been loaded for 2021, please start loading your members and start forwarding those schools. For us not to start in January with the loading of the data. So we start with the data as the kids join now and as they pay to get them onto the system. Again, so we can work with the correct information in our planning going forward. All right, some super exciting things. We've been talking about, I think the conversation started during lockdown. We talked about children's mental health and the impact that COVID had on children's mental health. And I got really interested in that. So I started doing a little bit of research and attending some webinars about children's mental health. And then that picture grew a little bit bigger, that it's not only children's mental health and well-being, but it's mental health and well-being of all ages, from babies right up to older people. Some people were more affected than others. But I did mention also last week, one of the scary statistics that I came across was that 88% of people across the globe have got some negative mental health things that they are dealing with at the moment. So guys, mental health is like physical health. And it's important to be aware of what your mental health state is at this point. So I came across this super awesome mental well-being assessment online that I've shared on my life coach page, that I will also ask Charlize to share with you guys on all the groups. So I went through this mental health assessment, and I've done mental health assessments before. After I got divorced, it was really a tough time for me, and I wanted to know where I was standing in terms of my mental health. At that time, it was locked down. So I went through this assessment. It takes a few minutes. It's really interesting. There's a couple of words that I learned throughout that, a couple of phrases, but it's so in-depth. And the results came back, and you can also get the results sent to you by email and read through that. So just to confirm and assure you guys, that my results came back that said, I am thriving. I was so pleased because I sleep well, I do exercise every day, I don't have a nagging wife or husband in my house. So those are all things that contribute to my mental health and the state of my mental health at the moment. So I am thriving, and I just want to give you guys the confidence to know that I'm not falling apart. I'm confident, I'm strategic, I'm informed, and I want to invite and encourage every single one of you to take part in that mental well-being assessment, just to see where you are at the moment. And there's some good things that come out of that, and it just creates some thought. All right, wonderful. Super, super excited about our pending application with the Department of Social Development. As an independent and as a private company, we don't have to register with any government authorities. But now it just came, it was actually presented to us. They want us to register with them. So MONKEYNASTIX International is in the process of lodging an application with the Department of Social Development. So as part of that application, we need to expose, or not expose, we need to give them a lot of information about how many children we have on the program between 0 and 14 months and all the age group up until the age of 6. And then also with that, we need a letter of confirmation, or just confirmation, from every single venue that we are at. So I will drive the application from our side, but I want to ask you guys to, it can be an email. It doesn't have to be on a school's letterhead. Just an email to you or directly to us. You can send it to Charlize or to me, as long as we get it. Just a letter of confirmation and maybe a reference. How long you've been at the school, 1 or 2 lines, 3 lines maximum. We don't need a whole opstel wat hulle moet skryf. So then we want to put all of that together in a document, a supporting document that, that's going to go with our application for the Department of Social Development. And guys, I think if we can be associated with them, and if we can have almost their backing, it's enormous, enormous potential for us growing our business in 2021. And it will give us great credibility. And it will also give us great guidance and support with the COVID and the regulations and the way things are going to be tightened up a lot as we go ahead into 2021 and beyond. So, I know many schools are closing now, but I would really like and appreciate if we can get those references and confirmations as soon as possible, like in the next week or 2 before the schools officially close on the 15th of December, 2020. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Last week we spoke about creating a new business model around MONKEYNASTIX and BabyNastics and what that would entail. So I've dug a little bit deeper into what the new business model would mean for us. And again, we've only scratched the tip of the iceberg, and I want you guys to continue attending these meetings on a Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon so we can continue building on our thought process going forward. So a new business model goes about sharing the same vision at the end of the day. And as a franchise, the uniformity for us is absolutely crucial and essential now. We've allowed a lot of flexibility now after lockdown in terms of lesson plans and presentations at schools and the way you operate, because we wanted to make it work and we wanted to make it happen with not too many restrictions. But guys, going forward into 2021, we must all agree that we're going to work on one plan. If we say we're going to do that, we're going to do that. If we say we're going to do that with the handouts, we're going to do that. That's sharing the same vision. So thinking about sharing the same vision, something that also popped up for me, and we've talked about that during the lockdown, and I've done presentations about that, and that is about attitude. We can't share the same vision going forward if we don't share the same attitude. So what is attitude, and where does attitude come from? Attitude is something that you choose. You wake up every morning and you decide what you're going to wear. That is also the way you decide your attitude. You can decide you're going to have a negative attitude, or you can decide that you can have a positive attitude. And it's really easy because it's absolutely just a mindset, and that's been proven before. I can go into Dr. Viktor Frankl, that wrote the book, Man's Search for Meaning. We have spoken about this. Dr. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist, and he was a prisoner in the German concentration camps. He survived that because of the attitude that he chose to have every day. So what came out of that book, and do yourself a favor if you have time, go and Google Dr. Viktor Frankl, The Man's Search for Meaning. So what came out of that he had a positive attitude in the German concentration camps, that created a thing that he coined, behavior breeds behavior. So he realized that if he had a positive attitude with these Germans that's intimidating them and kicking them and they've got no food, their attitude also slowly started to change towards him. They started confiding in him about their wife and their children and how miserable they are of this, and he just opened a platform because of his positive attitude going forward, and it was contagious. So making that more relevant for us, if you stand around a braai on Sunday afternoon and you go, oh, this COVID, and oh, this government, and oh, can you see what the EFF has done again? Everybody is going to buy into that, and your behavior is going to breed the behavior around you. But if you stand around the braai and say, wow, you know, guys, we've got so much positive things happening now. It's summer. We've made it to the end of 2020. We're in December. We're going to take a bit of a break now. We've got great plans going forward. Then people is going to buy into that. So to make it even more relevant for us, if you go to your schools and you go, oh, do you know what MONKEYNASTIX head office doing again now? And oh, we're still doing this. And oh, I don't have all my kids back yet. That is the conversation that you are going to create. And that is the attitude that you are going to create in the schools with the teachers and with the parents and with the children. But if you arrive there with a positive attitude and talk about the positive things and change that negativity, that is the shared vision that we have. We must see the same picture, but we must also share the same attitude going forward. And that's easy peasy because we decide that. A great part of that attitude from me, it could be different for you, is sustainability. We must think about a sustainable way of going into 2021 and the future, and what sustainability is going to mean for us, what it's going to mean for us at MONKEYNASTIX head office, and what it's going to mean for you on your franchisee level. I want to talk more about that in the meetings coming up, because we need to focus and we need to streamline. One of the top things and our biggest expense are our instructors. Instructors cost us the bulk of the money. So thinking out of the box, how are we going to manage that? Or how are we going to do that differently to be sustainable going forward? And we've got some ideas. All right, guys, so that's in a nutshell. We have to share the same vision. We have to think about sustainability, and we have to think about our attitude and how our behavior is going to breed behavior amongst our fellow franchisees and amongst our schools and our parents and our clients. A quick story talking about behavior breeds behavior. In the 70s, there was an experiment done at high school with a group of kids. So the kids were divided into two groups at random. And then the teachers were told that the groups of the kids were divided into two groups, the clever ones and the dumb ones. But that's all the information that they gave the teachers. They also said to the teachers that you must teach all the children the same. So after a year, the group that was labeled the clever ones outperformed the dumb ones by 50%. How do you explain that? It was just the way it was presented and the behavior of the teachers teaching the dumb kids and teaching the clever kids in a certain way. There's no other explanation around that. So that is the power of your attitude and the way you are going to go forward and the behavior that you are going to create. Let's all be part of the clever kids. And let's all have our teachers and our parents part of that group, the clever kids. And let's treat them like that. All right. Guys, I came across something very interesting, and I'm going to continue also supplying you with information around that. I'm going to share my screen now only for the first time. I just want to talk you through, I think it's 10 slides. It will go really quick, about the 6 things that we can do to sustain our businesses for success in 2021. And then afterwards, we'll open the floor and we'll get some feedback from you guys. Okay, here goes. All right, can you all see that? Brilliant. So I'm not going to read all the slides. 6 traits that will guarantee the success. So there are many qualities and characteristics. There's no one size fits all, but this was done by really clever people with businesses spanning the globe to see what is going to be the difference and what is going to be the key factors for us going forward in 2021. So 6 must-have characteristics. Apart from sharing the same vision about sustainability and attitude, the first one is, let's prepare for an uncertain future. Nobody knows what's going to be happening in 2021. Nobody knows if there's a second wave looming for us in South Africa. So prepare for uncertainty in the future. And again, I'm bringing the word sustainability in here. Let's look at our expenses. How are we going to manage our expenses? Because our income is going to be less. How are we going to be consistently managing our expenses for an uncertain future? I will also make this presentation available for you guys to read through the details. This is very interesting. So be more customer focused instead of product focused. So for us, our customers are the kids. And the reason why we do our classes is for their physical and mental well-being. So let's focus on the kids and making sure the kids are comfortable and making sure the schools are comfortable and making sure the parents are informed about our strategies. So also not trying to sell MONKEYNASTIX at the schools or to the schools, trying to see what we can do for you and going in there with our real pure intention about we are really focused on the why, the reason, and that is our kids. We want the best for them. Engaged in marketing with measurable returns. You know, we've spent a considerable amount of marketing in the past. Part of that marketing are the t-shirts, the books, the registration forms, the social media marketing, you know, and we never really had a measurable return on all of that. So just off the top of my head, the marketing, the measurable return on the marketing that our t-shirts give us, is that really worth a negative 500,000 each year? And other things. So we must look at how we're going to go ahead and how we're going to do the marketing in terms of our posters, our registrations, our online presence, our social media marketing, our uniformity on our social media platforms. We have to consider all of that And it's one of the 6 points that we have to focus on and really be aware of and also learn. As we go into 2021, we're going to continue the training. And a part of that training is going to be social media marketing. Guys, I don't know. I know very little about social media marketing, but I'm learning. And I want you guys to also learn to do the marketing in your community so that we can excel at that. All right, I see there's 10 minutes left of this meeting, so I'm just going to run through it and then we can log on again afterwards. All right, the fourth one, effectively managing of your cash flow. Guys, this shouldn't be the fourth one. This should be the first one. You should know exactly where every cent is going. We went through all our debit orders to see what we are paying for. We're like itemized, removing some things and managing your cash flow on a monthly basis so you know exactly where you are standing. So again, you can be proactive in creating a sustainable cash flow going forward. A clear, unique selling point and our position in the market. Our position in the market, we are the premium brand. We are the leaders in the field and we must push that. That's our unique selling point. We are the leaders and we are innovative. We are the premium brand. And those are the hashtags that we need to use going ahead. We should have our clear point of where we are positioning ourselves in the market. We are the premium brand and we are the leaders. Very, very important at this point. We were talking about sharing the same vision and sharing the same attitude going forward. It is crucial for us now to work with the right people, with the right franchisees. We encourage you to work with the right instructors, with the right schools. I sensed a little bit of a divide coming in MONKEYNASTIX with a few franchisees that's a little bit more independent and a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more greedy. So, but because of our high emotional intelligence, we handle that and see it for what it is. But guys, it is super, super important for us to work with the right people going forward that shares the same vision and that shares the same attitude, and the same applies for you guys. Forget what happened in the past. Forget everything that happened before the end of March when we went into lockdown. All we have to do now is focus on what we are doing right now. And I don't know that guy, William Durant. Okay, that was in a nutshell. That creates a lot of communication and that creates a lot of thinking. Basically, we are a company that is based on human relations and the relationships that you create with your schools and your kids over the long term. Let's make that a priority. Let's make the reason why we go to the school the priority, the why. Okay, we've got a few minutes left of this meeting. Let's go to you guys. I'm gonna just take a sip of water. My mouth is really dry now. But before I go to some of you guys, I think first I want to go to Jacqueline. We were speaking, and we are definitely considering moving on to an electronic registration system from next year. We will have the hard copy forms going out. That's still definitely as a backup. But Jacqueline, just from a parent's point of view, the way we spoke earlier about the online registration and Diepsloot.
I was just saying, yes, definitely. We must consider having paper-based, and all of that is still really important, but we must just think about our millennial parents that are practical, and they just want links. So if we can form really good relationships with our schools, and our schools have our links, I mean, that must be one of our first forms of marketing. You've got all your registration forms up and running online, and your schools have access to your links. That's what they need to be sending to their parents, so that when parents are sitting in the car for 5 minutes waiting to come fetch their kids, they have access to literally sign on online 5 minutes versus the registration going home, coming back, going home, coming back. And yes, I know some parents don't have access to the internet, so we need to make that's a responsibility. But just bearing in mind the convenience of our millennial parents and our young parents, which is 50% of our market, and keeping that in mind going forward, and how you market your online registration is also directly to your schools. So get them on board for that online process as well, because it's convenient, it's quick, it's easy, you can do it wherever you are. And yeah, it's just a new way of thinking that we need to adapt to.
Okay, thank you so much, Jacqueline. Millennials. All right, guys, so we're going to open it up on MONKEYNASTIX.international. If you are ready to go online now with the online payment system, please register a PayFast account. We spoke about that last week. Please register a PayFast account. And then, sorry, that's my helicopter going over. My pilot is a little bit early. So register a PayFast account. And with that, go onto MONKEYNASTIX.international. And you've already got your profile there. Make sure that you create your schools that's going to be in 2021 and your classes. So if we link your PayFast to MONKEYNASTIX.international, you'll get a link that's custom designed only for you. And if the parents click on that link, they go directly to your franchise. And provided that you've loaded all your schools and your classes, they can then register specifically in a class and pay for that class and pay for that fee, and also pay the registration fee. So if you're ready and if you want to give it a trial, you've got nothing to lose. It doesn't cost anything to set up your PayFast account, and then to just start your online registrations on MONKEYNASTIX.international. All right, I'm just looking through my list here. All right, let's go to James and Carol in Cape Town. You guys are all fired up for 2021, hey?
Yes.
Dirk, just am I unmuted? Yes. Dirk, just a quick question. We wanted to go into the F zone yesterday. And besides MONKEYNASTIX.international, everything that comes up in Google and everything else on the F zone defaults to a blank screen. So is MONKEYNASTIX International the only live site at the moment?
There should be two, MONKEYNASTIX.biz as well.
No,
it's not opening.
It's not functioning at all.
Okay, I'll follow that up with that guy this morning directly after the meeting.
Okay, because that brings to the next question. By next week, by the 15th, we have to drop brochures off at some of the schools, you know, and post and things. Is there any chance that we would have anything by then? And the other question, I suppose, is given that you said we must use what we've got, because we're also going with an online registration system, is there a possibility that we will have other brochures or posters by next week, or will that only come later?
So that will only come later. Let's use the forms that we've got right now, and across the board, everybody must use the forms that they've got right now, but there are more coming later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. One question. Yes.
Guys, while we've got you all together, I really would love to know where you advertise, where you find new instructors to interview. I'm having a little battle with that. I either get into the wrong sort of niche market of who's looking for jobs and the people that we actually need. Have you any suggestions, please?
Sorry, guys, I see this meeting is going to end in less than 1 minute. Then we'll all log back in, and then I'll just, we'll get back to you, Carol, about the instructors. Then I can share my thoughts also with you about I see the instructors going forward and how we may be going to do that in a more sustainable way. All right, so anybody that wanted to say something in response to Carol before we log off, before we lose this meeting?
Carol, my new instructor that started with me the beginning of the year is actually an instructor at one of the Virgin Actives. And yeah, because he's been active and he knows a bit about being physical and he's actually been brilliant in assisting with the classes, eh?
And Ingrid, how did you actually find him, if I may ask? And how?
My one, Sonia, that's been with me for years, she actually goes to the restaurant, Virgin Active, and she saw Tabani. And that's how we got him involved. And then I also had another guy, actually a waiter at one of our restaurants in Belipo. And I was talking to the owner, and he was saying that Tintin actually helped out at the mixed martial art classes with the little ones. So Tintin's also been assisting